The unthinkable just happened in Moscow. From the marble halls of the Kremlin to the blood-soaked battlefields of Ukraine, thousands of Russia's best officers were fed into a meat grinder that was supposed to deliver victory. By nightfall on multiple fronts in recent months, entire command structures were shattered, not by Ukrainian shells alone, but by something far more dangerous, betrayal from within. Putin's own generals are now gunning for him. Stay with me, because this isn't just another palace rumor. This is what happens when a dictator's iron grip collides with the brutal reality of endless failure, and the full picture is far more explosive than any leaked intelligence report can capture. Imagine this. The man who promised a quick triumph in Ukraine now sleeps in upgraded bunkers far from Moscow, surrounded by new surveillance, banned smartphones among his staff, and drone patrols on the river. His cooks, bodyguards, even photographers can't use public transport. Why? Because since March 2026, the Kremlin has been gripped by the very real fear of a coup or assassination, not from outsiders, but from inside his own elite circle. One European intelligence report lays it bare. Putin himself is terrified of plots from the political and military establishment he once trusted completely. Let's begin where the tension is most concentrated, in the strategic context that made this moment inevitable. Putin launched his special military operation expecting Kyiv to fall in days. Instead, 3+ years of grinding attrition have cost Russia hundreds of thousands of men, shattered its economy under sanctions, and exposed the rot at the heart of its command. Advances slowed dramatically in 2026. Elite units bled dry, and every failed offensive piled pressure on the very generals who were supposed to deliver glory. When you promise victory and deliver stalemate, loyalty doesn't just crack, it fractures. The system Putin built on fear and favor is now devouring itself. This brings us to Putin's flawed doctrine of control, absolute personal loyalty enforced through purges, corruption charges, and replacement with loyal economists rather than battle-tested commanders. Call it the vertical of fear. It worked when Russia seemed strong. But in the crucible of Ukraine, it became its own worst enemy. Officers who spoke truth about missing supplies or suicidal assaults found themselves sidelined or arrested. Sergei Shoigu, once untouchable as defense minister, was removed along with his clan. His close ally, former deputy defense minister Ruslan Salykov, faced arrest on corruption charges, a clear warning shot. Yet, Shoigu still retains influence in the military high command and security services. The message from the top, loyalty or else. But that or else is now breeding the very disloyalty it fears. Now here's the trap that was quietly set. Ukrainian strikes, drones, car bombs, targeted assassinations have eliminated key generals right in Moscow and beyond. Lieutenant General Fanil Sarvarov killed in December 2025, Yaroslav Moskalik in April. Vladimir Alexeyev, senior GRU figure, shot multiple times in his Moscow apartment in early 2026. The Kremlin blames Kyiv every time, but these hits create perfect chaos. Paranoia spikes, rival factions point fingers, and the security apparatus turns inward. Internet blackouts in central Moscow coincided with arrests of Shoigu-linked figures. Was it to stop leaks or to prevent coordination? Even Russian telegram channels close to the Siloviki are buzzing with whispers. The trap isn't just external, it's the war itself exposing every weakness in Putin's house of cards. Let's reveal the 3-layer kill system now turning against the regime itself. Layer 1, battlefield attrition. Generals lose their best troops and see promotions go to yes men instead of competent fighters. Layer 2, internal purges and arrests. Popov, Salykov, others thrown into Lefortovo on charges that smell political. The FSB weaponizes blackmail and anti-corruption, drives not to clean house but to settle scores. Layer 3, the quiet elite realignment. Shoigu's remaining network, frustrated oligarchs watching their wealth evaporate, and mid-level officers tired of zinc coffins for pointless gains. These layers interact viciously. No escape for Putin because every move to tighten control creates more enemies. The very men who know the war's truth are the ones with guns, intelligence, and access. The immediate operational impact is paralysis. Command structures freeze as officers watch their backs instead of the front. Replacement math is broken. You can't purge experienced generals and expect seamless victories. Tactical decisions stall. Units hesitate, and the body count keeps rising, over 1,000 casualties some days, while the elite in Moscow calculate their own survival. Russian military bloggers and even some state-adjacent voices admit the disaster. The vertical of fear is producing exactly what it was meant to prevent: disloyalty at the top. Now zoom out to the strategic and societal consequences. Information control is cracking, leaks flow faster than ever. Demographics are gutted by the war, society grumbles under the strain. NATO and Western intelligence watch these fractures with keen interest. A distracted, inwardly focused Russia is less dangerous abroad. For Ukraine, every sign of Kremlin infighting buys breathing room and asymmetric advantage. Putin's own doctrine, ruthless centralization, has become the weapon used against him. Even hardline supporters are breaking ranks, pointing fingers not at bad generals, but higher. The unthinkable is no longer hypothetical. What does this mean going forward? Proof of concept that no dictator is truly untouchable when failure becomes existential. Putin's regime, once a monolith, now rehearses its own potential collapse in real time. Ukrainian adaptation and resilience expose the cracks. Now the system's own rigidity widens them into chasms. Who actually knows what is being whispered in those bunkers or secure dachas right now? The full significance should make every viewer pause. Respect to those Russian voices, however few, who still prioritize reality over blind loyalty. And the bigger question for all of us, when a cornered leader faces enemies in his own ranks, what desperate moves come next? This story is far from over. Drop your thoughts below. What do you see happening in Moscow in the coming months? If you want unfiltered analysis on these shifting power plays, hit subscribe, turn on notifications, and join us for the next one. The vertical is shaking. Stay informed.